Sue or no Sue? That is the question. Hey everyone, what's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another little video for you guys and gals this evening. It is a rundown of the latest day's news and just fallout reaction, obviously, to the gash-tastic Manchester derby day yesterday where we did succumb 6-3 to Manchester City. And we're going to cover all the latest Manchester United goings-on of the day and evening, all the latest fallout and reaction and that kind of stuff. So hope you're doing well, guys, and having a good day. Shout out to all the legends in here. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Basically, some of you may know, I stream in two different places. FIFA late night for hours where I can smoke, and then here where I do my Man United videos, and I've got one microphone, and for some reason the computer wasn't picking up the microphone there, so I had to restart it a couple of times, and it sorted it out. So hopefully we have no issues with the mic. Also need to get a second microphone, don't I? Do us a favour, I'm rambling. Do us a favour at the start of this show. Smash that like button, give it a raw like. Hit that thumbs up button on it. If you're on catch up later, drop the like and get yourself in the comment section down below and have your say. And if you're new to the channel, of course, subscribe. But if you're here right now in the stream, thanks for joining us and get involved in the chat. Say hello. Hey, Finley, WWE Network, Kingslayer, Jonathan Gallagher, Mark Coughlin. How you doing there? Great to see you there. Oh, gash-tastic day yesterday, mate. One of the absolute worst in living memory, sir. Stay Gold, what's going on there? Kingslayer, Elliot Manduna's in the house. Lynette Giggs, I hope you're doing well today. And Gungshi's in here getting there, my son. Hi, Pig and the Bacon Brigadiers. Thank you, Gungshi. Hi to you too, my friend. Tad Bakes, Stu, Rasha Felicia, Bob of Many Colours, Kingslayer, Whiny Derry, and everybody else as well. Thanks for getting in. Yeah, do drop the like on it and have your say throughout. We're going to dip in and out the chat, of course, as we go along through the topics. And have your say, and we'll have some votes along the way, and we'll have a big Q&A at the end of the stream as well. Well, let's get stuck in there, unlike Manchester United yesterday. Okay, the game. It was absolutely gash-tastic. Manchester United lost 6-3 to City. Ten Hag did get it wrong, didn't he? He was too passive from the start. The players were lacking the cojones as well. That's a concern. A lot of the players, everybody pretty much to a man, didn't turn up like they did previously. And there's a couple of decent displays in there, you know, but more or less, it was gash. Marcio came off the bench and did well. But even David De Gea had a shitter, you know, you can see the six did nothing. Everybody in the team generally performed gash. I mean, they might have tried, people like Martinez tried and tried and tried, but ultimately we conceded 6 goals. So whichever way you look at it, it was an absolute shit show of a day. And we are still considerably some way off of the likes of Manchester City right now. I think that's fair to say. They're a good team. They're further ahead. They should be further ahead. They spent shitloads of money. We've also spent shitloads of money, but they spent it under Pep for years now. And he's got you know, more experienced, more seasoned team. Man United still building under Ten Hag. This is no real reflection on Ten Hag. He's tried something here, and he's got it completely gash-tastically, catastrophically wrong. But he did try something. He's obviously felt like he was able to win the game by setting the team up whichever way he did. And it didn't really make all that much sense to me. I mean, he definitely, in hindsight, you can level some criticism at him. In hindsight's a wonderful thing. But let's just talk about some of the major errors or the talking points from the game that he made. Just because, well, that's what we do on this channel. So Casemiro didn't start, did he? And he has taken a little bit of criticism for that fact that Casemiro's not played, and certain people, including Tottenham Hotspur ex-player Rafael van der Vaart, said that he was stupid, very stupid, in order to not play Casemiro instead of McTominay, basically, just the fact that we signed him. But you know what? Who gives a shit what Rafael van der Vaart thinks? I'm just saying that is one of the topics of course of discussion, is that we started Scott McTominay. Basically, Eric Ten Hag's been speaking about that. You know, he said basically why he hasn't been starting the Real Madrid player. He said on the day we signed him, we started to win, and it's about the team. The team was doing really well. It's not against Casemiro. It's for, in this case, Scott McTominay. He performed great in the team, and then it would get a run. But I'm sure it will be important for us in the long term and short term, who will find himself in the team, but it has to come in a natural way. So essentially, you know, Ten Hag got it wrong, and he's played Scotty McTominay in there, who absolutely stunk up the place again. And he is a decent squad player. You know, clearly, if you look at the last few games where he's played well under Ten Hag before the international break, he's okay in certain games. He's a decent player. You know, he's lower standard. He's a squad player. He's a backup player. But he's not a top player that you bang in there against the best team in the world or one of the best teams in the world, is he? He's not a player you start in the centre of the park there. So I think he did make a mistake by not having Casemiro from the start, simply because we paid 70 million for Cassie. He's a world-class player. He's a big game player. Maybe he's the sort of player that maybe will have a good impact protecting the back line and just giving us a bit more solidity in that game than the likes of Shotty McShotbag, who's technically guff. So I do think he got that wrong, guys. And, all I can hope is that Ten Hag learned his lesson on that, just like he did with the start of the season when he was playing Slabo Maguire, and then he decided, hey, you know what, this guy's absolutely shite. I'm going to bench him and we're going to go with something else. And he decided to make the change, and he did that, and it worked out for us, didn't it? Because Martinez and Varane is better. In regards to Maguire, though, he's maybe coming back in, but we'll see. Varane's injured at the moment, but we don't know how injured. He drove himself to Carrington actually today. So just a quick update on Varane. And also he's not expected to have a bad ankle injury, by the way. So I think Ten Hag's going to be giving out a proper update on Wednesday ahead of the Europa League game. But at the moment, it's not expected that Varane is going to have a bad injury. Get in there, my son. Hopefully he's fit and available soon, because we need him. Anyway, enough about that. But the fact is, Man United didn't perform well. The team's bottled it. Certain decisions that he made were not great. But certain players obviously have to take a lot of responsibility for their gash performances as well. And there was a lot of underperformers in the team, just as individuals. Even like Tyrone Malacia, who's been brilliant for us, did sort of get run ragged over on that side for the half that he was on the pitch. And Luke Shaw did look better when he came on, to be fair. So just some concerns there. This guy's not ready yet in terms of consistency. Maybe it's just a bad day at the office. I think Malacia is going to be amazing. He's still ahead of Luke Shaw for me. Let's just ask the live chat, though. If you selected the next sort of Premier League games starting lineup, just at left back, folks, who would you actually put in there ahead at the moment? Would it be Luke Shaw or would it be Tyrone Malacia? Malacia did get done considerably in the last game, but you know what? He's looked very consistent before that. So for me, I choose Tyrell. But Luke Shaw, he did look good for England the other day. He's come on, he's had a decent sort of a time of it. So what do you think, guys? Malacia says, watch out for Malaysia and Kingsley and Tom. Malacia says Lynette Giggs. Nas says Shaw. I'd stick with Malacia, says OG. Rather have, what's that? You'd rather play, you pay better than Rashford, says IQ Insane. Shaw says Sosa. Sean says Malacia. Yeah, he's the next ever. I'm with you. I think we've got to stick with Malacia, in all fairness. Shaw's had a decent display when he's come on, but he's got to earn his place just like anybody else. And one bad half isn't really going to, against the best team, by the way, isn't really going to have an effect on me not wanting Tyrell on the side. Malacia says 0793. Yeah, that's right, Rushman. Shaw did look good. He looked good. And also he looked good when he played for England the other day too. So he is a good player. He's only 26, Luke Shaw. I think it's good, actually, the situation we've all of a sudden got with the left backs. We've got two good left backs who will be fighting it out, and they'll hopefully step up the levels in each other with the competition. So we should see, hopefully, Luke Shaw starting to actually look like maybe the Luke Shaw that we saw that season under Ollie when he brought in Tellez, and all of a sudden Luke Shaw had to play well. Maybe you'll see that sort of effect that Tyrone Malacia will have on him. But also, Tyrone Malacia is obviously favoured by Ten Hag at the moment, it seems. He will be nurtured. He will be brought along, developed. He's still only 22. Great young player. Hey there, Zane Fardy. Welcome in. Guys, thanks everyone who's in here. Over 100 legends. Smash that like on the video if you're just joining us. Leave a cheeky little free like and help boost us up there on the algorithm by smashing that like button and help us get to 100 likes. Okay, finally caught you live. Great to see you there, T-Mill. What's going on, mate? Great to have you in here. How you been? Okay, so yeah, he made a few different decisions, didn't he, that were a little bit questionable. I think you've got to get down to the big decision that he made, really, that was a questionable decision as well. And in the end, it seemed like perhaps the wrong decision, because he didn't select Cristiano Ronaldo, did he? And he didn't bring him off the bench. Now, in my opinion, I understand it, to be honest, guys, because we're getting absolutely peppered and battered. He said after the game he didn't really want to sort of basically subject Cristiano Ronaldo to that. Essentially, like the shame of playing in such a gash-tastic game where we're getting battered or something. But he could have played him from the start. And in the end, Rashford didn't exactly do much, did he? Maybe Cristiano in a game like that would have made sense. So I am actually going to get a cheeky little poll on the go in the live chat. And I just want to ask you in the chat as well quickly. I mean, do you think that Cristiano Ronaldo should have started in that game yesterday? Yes or no? Let me have a little vote in the live chat. Okay. And I'm going to get a poll on the go, which is a slightly different question, but just going forward now, should Ronaldo be starting? So I'm going to get that poll on the go in the live chat. So thank you for voting in the chat here. I can see Master Yoda says yes. Michael says no. Definitely yes, says Mark Coughlin. Hey there, Nut. He says C. He gets in there, Nut. He says C. No chance. What happens? What changes with Ronaldo, says Tad Bakes. No, says Elliot. No, Martial needs to start. Yeah, hey, fair play, Vinny. He looked very good when he came on. He's been hungry and looked very, very good, in all fairness to him, since Ten Hag's come in. Absolutely, says Michelle LS. Also, to be honest, Ten Hag's still finding out about his players. That's true. Yeah, learning who are melts. That's true. Wouldn't have mattered because the whole wouldn't have got to him, says Sean. The ball wouldn't have got to him. I mean, that's a fair point, Sean. You're right. I mean, we were absolutely shite at getting the ball forward and getting any sort of football going from midfield there. If you look at the likes of Shotty McShotbag, etc. And even Ericsson had a bit of a shitter of a game in general. We just didn't do a good job of getting it anywhere. So you're right about that. But we still did score a few goals. You would like to think that he would maybe be a bit of a focal point for us. I can see what Ten Hag was going for. You can see what he was going for by the way that he's set up. So I get it. He doesn't want to waste Ronaldo in the first half of the game. Maybe he was thinking if it was closer later on, he might have brought him on. But because of the goal line, the score line, he's decided not to actually bring him on at all. But it could have been the case of, oh, he doesn't want to start Ronaldo on there because Ronaldo's essentially just going to be stood on the halfway line most of the time. And you want somebody stood on the halfway line who's going to be just having loads of pace on the counter to break, which we set up passively and defensively and counter-attacking wise. So he's thinking, let's get these lads countering on the break. And the best way to do that maybe is just to get Rashford playing on the halfway line and also on the last man and use his pace to stretch them and all that kind of thing. So maybe that's why he was thinking Ronaldo's not the right man for that sort of tactic, which is fair. And because of the scoreline being so unbelievably one-sided at half-time and later in the game, he's just thought, well, it's damage limitation. Well, why even put out this thoroughbred Ronaldo in this game now, which is absolutely shite? So, I mean, I would have liked to have seen Cristiano Ronaldo start the game in hindsight, because I know that we probably wouldn't have performed any worse. But only if we'd have had a different mentality, to be fair. We'd have actually have to have started on the front foot. I'm pissed off with the tactics, guys, in that game. Ten Hag's bottled it as much as we like to, say that it's early doors. He did. He could have gone a different style and been a bit more pressing and go for it. We didn't show any sort of desire to do that. It was more of a, we are just going to sort of try this defensive counter style. And I would have liked to have seen us get in their faces and be more pressing and try and at least take the game to them as much as they're going to take the game to us. We may well have still conceded 6, but maybe we'd have had a proper end-to-end, proper game of football, maybe scored a couple more, maybe it would have been a real classic. Maybe we would have actually had, the right mentality and been able to get some sort of a crazy result. You never know. Fight fire with fire instead of just fighting fire with an ice cube. Okay, I get it. You want your bucket of water puts out fire, but a fire will melt an ice cube. And that's basically what we did in the game, is we tried to be an ice cube, guys, and we melted, and it was gastastic. So it would be very, very nice to see a change in mentality for the games going forward, particularly against the likes of City. We know that doesn't quite work for us right now, so I'd like to see us play a different style. Oh, Gungshi, you legend. Get in there, my son. Come on, mate. Let's go fucking Sue. Gungshi, thank you so much, guys. Come on. Let's get some Sues and some raw love vibes in there for Don Gungshi. Man, thank you so much for the 10 memberships, bud. Let's go, mate. What an absolute lad. Hashtag lad. Gungshi's just gifted out 10 memberships in the chat. Thank you so much, Gungshi, for your incredible generosity there. You're an absolute legend, man. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And 10 legends will be bestowed. The membership. 10 new members of the Bacon Brigade. Welcome in. Enjoy your emojis. Let's get some Ronaldo emojis in there to celebrate. Thank you, Gungshi. And William Reedy has been gifted a membership there. He's now a member of the channel. We'll be loving that. William Reedy will be loving that, my friend. William Reedy, nice one, William. Also, Mark Coughlin was become a member. Get in there, my son. Let's go, Mark Coughlin. I can't see the rest of them, guys. What's going on there? They still haven't come through. Is it messed up again? No, I think it's gashed up again, But either way, we've got 10 new members and they'll be coming through very, very soon. Thank you so much to Gungshi, everybody. Seriously, let's get a cheeky little hashtag legend in the live chat. That's very, very kind of you. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much, Gungshi. What a legend. So please do keep voting in that poll, guys. Should Ronaldo be starting now? In my opinion, absolutely yes. The situation with Ronaldo is really up in the air. Maybe he's eyeing a January exit. It sort of looks like he's unhappy. It doesn't seem right for me that Cristiano Ronaldo sat on the bench there. You're looking over, it seems like we spent 70 million on Casemiro just so Cristiano Ronaldo's got a mate on the bench to hang out with and chat to. Like, why are those two on the bench in all seriousness? Those two are some of the greatest players in the world. Why the fuck are they on the bench, guys? Let's just be serious and real about it. Okay, Ronaldo is older. He's not had the best pre-season. He maybe wants to leave. There's still a lot of talks about Oh, hang on. All the members have come through now. Gungshi, you legend. Thank you so much, Gungshi. Right, let's just shout out all the new legends who are now members. Mark Coughlin, Tad Bates, Sandeep, Stanton, Unknown, William Reedy, John Layton, Thanatos AFC, Josh Hernandez as well. All gifted membership by Gungshi. Welcome aboard the Bacon Express, my friends. Thank you once again to Gungshi for the incredible generosity. That is amazing. Get in there, you legends. Right, so Cristiano Ronaldo, folks. Ronaldo is considering, I guess, a move away in January. Certainly if he's not going to be being played regularly by Ten Hag. He wants to move. I mean, the fact is he probably wants to move in the summer and get Champions League football. Let's face it, that's the reality. And at the moment, there's some more updates that have come out from Jay Burt from The Telegraph earlier on, which basically suggests that Ronaldo had been keen to join a club that could give him Champions League football in the summer. But the only concrete proposal came, obviously, from a Saudi club, which was a ridiculous amount of money that he was offered, and he turned it down. Man of principle there. But he wants the accolades, he wants the legend. And unfortunately, Manchester United, as we've gone over many times on this channel, it cannot really provide him with Champions League football right now, or what he needs, or the ability to really challenge for things. We're in a transitional period under Ten Hag. We're in a rebuild period. And so it's not a great time for Ronaldo. We've got Europa League guff. And on top of all of that, he's not even being played. So he can't add to his tallies. He can't get the goal stats. He can't play. And if he's not going to get warmed up and ready for the World Cup as well, then he's going to start to get really pissed off. I'm sure Ten Hag's going to play him soon. But it doesn't actually look like Ten Hag is planning on playing him all that much, because he's down the pecking order. He's got certain players he thinks are maybe perhaps better with their youth or exuberance. He's talked about recently with his comments on Casemiro, not starting Casemiro and selecting McTominay, that Cassie's coming at this time where the team is playing well, and so he's sticking with the team, essentially. And so, does that mean that a player like maybe Tony Martial might be ahead of Ronaldo as well as Rashford at the moment? Perhaps. I mean, Tony came on in the last game and he played really well, actually, for the time he was on the pitch. He got himself a couple of goals and he's looked really good under Ten Hag so far. But I'll ask the live chat, guys, for the next game, for the next Premier League game, forget the Europa League game, because I think that's a different sort of a vibe, right? But just let's talk about the next Premier League game, which we must get the 3 points in. Who would you start up top? We've got one striker you can select in the team. We've got a few choices. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo, you've got Rashford, and you've got Martial, who did have a good game. Who do you play in that number 9 sort of role for Manchester United in the game, striker, leading the line? Who do you play? Hey, what's going on there, Vincent Bullock? Yes, they are, mate. How you doing there? Good to see you. Welcome in. CR7 says Michael Vine. Martial. CR7 says Russia Felicia. We've got Martial, says Liam Oakley. Martial all day, says Tad Bates. Susan Lively says Martial. Phillips says Martial. Zane says Martial. Kingslayer says Martial. So in terms of form, in terms of who's actually looked the most consistent, you have to say, since Ten Hag's been in, Tony Martial has actually looked the most consistent when he's actually had tenacity when he's played. And from a point, I do want a manager who selects players based on like form. I do want that. So Ronaldo, when he's played, as much as I think he's the greatest of all time, he's not actually looked all that effective or all that great or really helped all that much for the team. It's fair to say he's not had the best service either this season, but it's not like he's set the world alight, is it? Tony, on the other hand, has actually looked pretty good. So I wouldn't begrudge that pick, to be fair. If Tony Martial selected ahead of Ronaldo for the next game, it's based on merit. It's based on merit. It has to be said, because he's come on and done well. He showed good consistency, showed good tenacity under Ten Hag. Ronaldo hasn't quite done that yet. Ronaldo is a bitty big bollocks, and Ronaldo is the GOATest player of all time. But he's still, just like anybody else, in a Ten Hag team, is going to have to sort of fight his way into the team. He's going to have to earn his place in the team. And I do like that about Ten Hag. I have to admire it. As much as I think, Ronaldo should have perhaps played some part in that game. And hindsight's a wonderful thing. You've got to admire his bollocks. You've got to admire the fact that he's got the greatest player of all time, the biggest name, on the biggest money in the dressing room. And he is not even playing him. He's going with the players that he thinks is the team, the best way to go about it. So you've got to admire what Ten Hag's doing there, but it does beg the question, what goes on with Cristiano Ronaldo in January? Because another report here from The Telegraph that says that Cristiano Ronaldo is eyeing a January exit from Manchester United, and Ten Hag will not stand in his way if a suitable offer arrives. So maybe that's the case. He's not being played. He's getting frustrated. He's only got Europa League football to play anyway. So if a Champions League team did actually come in January with a decent offer, that would probably be the most likely outcome, is that he leaves. But it would have to actually happen first. And we saw in the summer, there wasn't a whole host of teams that were lining up to take on Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's still a big if. And also, what happens between now and January? Like, we could see Ronaldo played week in, week out by Ten Hag. He could score a hat-trick next game and then just be kickstart his season, and then it's all go from there. Or he could not be played at all, or it could continue as it is right now. And that would mean that he's probably definitely going to leave in January. So we've got to see how the next 2 months sort of pan out, or the next few months sort of pan out. But I want to keep him all season, guys. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm frustrated for him, and I'm frustrated by him, and I'm just frustrated by the whole situation, because it's a shame that he's not playing. I'd like to see us maybe try and play to his strengths. And, like Keno said recently, or a lot of people have said recently, the pressing game, okay, maybe he's too old to do all of that, and those guys at the top of the pitch can run. But it's not all about that. You've got a player in there who's a clutch player, can get you goals. Just play him on the last man. Just utilize him in the box. Just be, direct and get it to Cristiano Ronaldo in the right areas. And he will score you a shitload of goals still. He's still one of the greatest finishers, one of the greatest leaders, one of the greatest characters in the game. Most passionate, most hungry, most driven. The list goes on. So why wouldn't you want Cristiano Ronaldo in your team? I mean, okay, Martial maybe does deserve to play the next game. But Ronaldo's got to be coming off the bench or to having some sort of role and a chance to prove himself as well, and maybe try and fight his way back into the team. So, I love Cristiano, but he's no bigger than anybody else, though, at this stage. He's 37 now. This isn't 27-year-old prime Ronaldo who picks the team himself. This is 37-year-old Ronaldo in a team that, is struggling, and Ten Hag's trying to do a certain thing, and maybe Cristiano Ronaldo's actual attributes don't really lend themselves that well to what he's trying to do. So it is a bit of a catch-22 situation. But either way, yesterday, it was, in hindsight, a bad decision, I think, not to have Ronaldo starting, because in your big games, and Casemiro as well, that's probably, if I could go back to the time machine and redo the game, the outcome probably may not have been any different. We still may have got battered, but in hindsight, I think, you've got to say that we could have done with the likes of Casemiro and Ronaldo maybe from the start. But anyway, so Ronaldo perhaps eyeing a January move. Let's just ask the live chat then. I'll dip into the live chat, see your thoughts and opinions real quick. Cristiano Ronaldo, January move. Should we keep or should we sell? If an offer came in from any Champions League club in January for 15 million, should we keep or should we sell? Let's have a little vote in the chat, see what you guys are saying. Sell, says Kingslayer and Tom, and now 786, and Tad Bakes as well. Wow, okay. Liam Oakley says sell. Rashad Valacia says keep. Palmaria says sell. If he's not happy, sell, says Trix FN. You have to time travel with Slabby Pig, says Vincent Bullock. He'd mess it up, mate. We'd be back in like 3 million BC or something, running away from Velociraptor if it was up to him. Keep 15 million. Sell, says Zena Rose. Lee says sell. Keep, says Dan Miguel. Sell, says Philip. Keep, says Paula. Sell and use his wages elsewhere. Yeah, fair play. Well, okay, so a lot of people saying sell there on Cristiano Ronaldo. It all comes down, for me, for the next couple of months and his attitude. Like, if he actually does manage to break his way into the team, if he stays professional, if he doesn't fanny around, and if when he does get on the pitch, he takes his opportunities and plays well and convinces Ten Hag to select him, and he's still happy to stay here for the rest of the season, then I'd be happy to keep him, because I still think he's a great player. But you have to say what Ten Hag's looking to do and how Ten Hag's gone about it so far. Ronaldo doesn't really lend himself to what Ten Hag's trying to do, clearly, otherwise he'd be playing him. So he's not above anybody else in the side for Ten Hag. Ten Hag doesn't really favour his style, I don't think, what he offers the team. So it looks like maybe it's set in stone, but the next few months will decide that. Obviously, if he's gonna play regularly and burst in the team again, he might well stay if there's no offers as well. Plus, it all does depend on if there's offers. If Cristiano Ronaldo is available in January and there's teams actually want to put a bid in for him, then he might go. If not, then we're stuck with him, aren't we? He's not going to be going anywhere if nobody's prepared to pay the money for his wages and also the transfer fee. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. Me personally, I want to see him do well. I want to see him get himself stuck in. I want to see him have an impact and earn his place in the team and be part of the team. That's what I want. Now, if he's not prepared to do that, and if he's not happy, then yes, cut your losses. You don't want an unhappy camper in there. It's just going to stink up the gaff. We need to be all singing from the same hymn sheet. And if Ronaldo's not singing from the same hymn sheet in January, then see you later on, pal. It's that simple. So he's no bigger than anybody else at the moment. keep depending on his performance this season. Hey there, CD. I have no idea. I didn't do it. Maybe an accident from a mod, unless it was a rude one. No idea. Right, yeah. So you've got to say Cristiano Ronaldo's no bigger than anybody else at this stage of his career, and it's a shame that it's not working out at the moment under Ten Hag. Ten Hag, though, probably should be giving him a chance. You think about what a Rolls Royce of a player he is, maybe he does deserve a bit of a chance. But reports, as I say, that Ronaldo's keen to join a Champions League club if there was an offer that came in, and he's being prepared to be professional. And this is a report also from the Telegraph that says that Ronaldo has remained highly professional. He is hoping his prospects of more playing time improve between now and the World Cup finals next month, and that a strong showing in Qatar will boost his prospects of a move. So there you go. Ronaldo for Portugal in the Qatar World Cup is basically just like a big shop window, isn't it, as well? So he's going to be looking to have a great World Cup and maybe convince other teams in January to come in for him. And he will also be looking to prepare well for the World Cup. And if he's going to prepare well for the World Cup, he's going to have to play football. So I'm sure he'll be knocking on Ten Hag's door. I'm sure he'll be asking for game time. I'm sure he'll be trying his absolute utmost to try and get into that team and convince Ten Hag that he is the one. So I'm not too concerned about it. We've got other players that maybe can perform as well. I don't think I'm just going to be honest. Now, Martial's been very good for us lately, and we had a vote earlier who should be in there. Martial, right? Okay, Martial's form's great. But let me just tell you this. I have watched a lot of Tony Martial over the years. I know he's a quality silky player, but he goes missing. He's inconsistent. Nobody will convince me otherwise. He deserves a chance under Ten Hag, and if he takes that chance, maybe he can turn a corner and be the player we all hoped he would be. I'm just saying, I've seen history. I've seen history, just like I saw Pogba repeat history season after season at United, or many players do it. McTominay, Harry Maguire. We see these players consistently do certain things, and you might think, oh, they've had a good few games, let's stick them in this big game. But overall, maybe they're just not up to it. Just being totally honest now. Now, I would not feel comfortable. Let's just say Ronaldo left in January. Unless we're going to sign another beast striker, I would not feel comfortable the rest of the season with just Tony Martial and Rashford. You can't rely on those guys to bag you as many goals as we need. Sorry to say. So as much as I love both those guys, I think they're good players. I think they are capable of doing really good things under Ten Hag. They could turn the corner, and they're getting better, and they're still young and all the rest of it. I've seen what they've done over the last couple of seasons, and they're inconsistent. And I wouldn't rely on them. So we have to sign somebody in January, I think. We've got to go and get a striker in January to be able to, to be able to compete with these guys, to be able to compete with the big boys. Otherwise, where are the goals coming from? I don't think Martial's a 20-plus a goal season man playing at striker. I don't think Rashford is either. So is that the answer? No, we need somebody in there who is going to be that man, who is going to do the job for Ten Hag. So I'm a little bit annoyed as well, folks. So I don't know if you've seen this, but look at this. Chelsea, close to a deal for RB Leipzig forward Christopher Nkunku. A player that we've tried to get, or we've at least had an interest in getting in the past. Ten Hag was very interested in Christopher Nkunku, it's been known in the past. So it's frustrating that it looks like we'll be potentially missing out on this guy. They're already getting pre-contract agreements and all sorts of stuff in place for this Nicholas Nkunku move. We need a player like this, somebody that could come in and do a very convincing job for us and score a lot of goals. And, so not only has he completed a medical for Chelsea, how does he complete a medical before he's fucking signed in January? So they've had a secret medical, apparently, and all this stuff. It's like Angler's he's going to sign a pre-contract and go in January. Well, or next summer, sorry. But what the fuck is a medical all good for now then? I don't really understand that. But either way, what's the point of it doing a medical out? But anyway, this for next summer. So this is the report that Christopher Nkunku has not only completed a medical for Chelsea, but according to a report by David Ornstein, Leipzig and Chelsea have already a deal in place for next summer that is in excess of 60 million euros reported elsewhere. So why shouldn't we be going for somebody like that? That's what annoys me. We could potentially be going for somebody like that. And we're going to have to do that if Cristiano Ronaldo leaves. And it is very frustrating because look at this. I mean, we've got a report here that says Nkunku was a priority signing for Ten Hag next summer. No budget for the player. Chelsea close to winning the race. Hashtag Glazers out. Let's get a hashtag Glazers out in the live chat because that is exactly the sort of player we should have been going to get. Yes. And we've also, not fully invested in all the areas that we needed to. We did spend a lot in this summer. I can't pretend we didn't, but we maybe overspent on players like Anthony for 100 mils bad. And then, you know, some of the other money we've spent 70 on Cassie. We haven't even played the guy yet. So it's pretty strange goings on. But yes, let's get some hashtag Glazers out because they are shackling us. And we are losing the race of top players to other good teams now that we're looking to try and get. And it's just like history seems to be repeating itself for me. You know, I looked at that game yesterday. I don't want to start noshing off Erling Haaland, right? I really don't. You know, he's already getting noshed off left, right, and centre. I don't want to start adding to it, especially as a United fan. But wow, what a player! You know, what a player! He is unbelievable. He runs like a Terminator. He's determined. His finishing, his power, his positioning, his movement. He's just on it, isn't he? He's fucking on it. And we could have had a player like that in the past. We had the opportunity to get a player like that. Just like we had an opportunity to get Christopher Nkunku or Julian Alvarez or various other players that would have been really exciting acquisitions. Luis Diaz, a couple of random players that have been linked to us previously that then went to other teams later. We could have got them. They were available. Then like a next transfer window later, a year later, they go somewhere else and they turn out to be really good. Now, it just seems like we're making piss poor acquisitions. And, you know, like Erling Haaland would have been a fantastic signing for us a couple of seasons ago, wouldn't he? But they weren't prepared to spend the money and do the business with the likes of Riola, which I understand. But now it seems like we probably should have gone and got that guy, shouldn't it? But look, we're not going to cry over spilt milk. He's a City scummer. He's a second-generation City scummer. But he is obviously a very, very good player. And you look at what other teams are doing. Chelsea are not that far away. If they do get a proper good goal scorer in there, they're probably a good team. They've got a lot of good players. So, you know, whereas United, we are trying out for somebody that can get you like 20 plus goals a season. So I'd be frustrated to see a man like Christopher Nkunku go to Chelsea when he's another one of those type of prospect players that's ready to take a step up and could maybe get you that amount of goals a season. And we could just perhaps have gone and got at a previous time, but now we're losing the race and now we might miss out to another team. It's just a debacle, isn't it? It's a debacle. But let's ask the live chat then, if you could get one striker in there in January to replace an outgoing Cristiano Ronaldo, for instance, who would you realistically like to go and get? Zayn Miasi's got in here with a super chat. What's going on there, Zayn Miasi? Thank you so much for the super chat there, Zayn. Zayn Miasi, what's good? He says, Pig, how is Maguire, Anthony, and Casemiro worth $250 million? Well, they're actually not. They're actually not worth $250 million. They cost that, but they're not worth that, are they, Zayn? I mean, Harry Maguire, you'd be pressed to sell him at 15 million quid to anybody right now, I think, or maybe 25, 30 max. Whereas, you know, Casemiro, obviously, he's aging as well. He's a diminishing asset. And Anthony, well, we overpaid massively for Anthony in the end. But I tell you what, Anthony, he had a shocking first half, but I did admire his second half performance where he's kept going and he showed a good bit of guile and just belief to have a go at that goal and score that stupendous goal. And who cares about the goal? It's a shit goal in terms of its meaning because we were 4-0 down at the time. But still, though, it was a cracking little bit of a solo effort from the lad. So he looks like a cracking player. So I'm not worried that we got him, but we did overpay for the guy. Of course we did. Zamiasi, thanks for getting in here raw, lad. Those players are not worth that much. We spent far too much money. We could have had Haaland for 2 mil, says Dan McGill. Well, back in the day we could have, but we could have had him for a lot more than that, but still a lot less than what City paid for him before he went to Dortmund. We could have had him then. That's the time when we should have got him. And it would have cost a lot of money to pay off Riola and give Haaland what he wanted for a young lad at that stage. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but if we'd have got a player like that, it would have obviously meant that you got yourselves one of the best strikers in the world tied down. And so it would have made sense. But look, he's the second generation City scummer, as I say. Maybe it's worked out as it should. Hey, Mark Harris, what's going on, you legend? Chloe Jenkins says, how can they do that transfer window closed unless he has the same agent as that cheat Josh Verstappen? Hey, you know what, Chloe? I think it's basically like a pre-agreement for the summer. So they're essentially like agreeing for the transfer, but he's not actually going to move until the summer, I believe. I think that's currently what's going on, which seems strange, doesn't it? Or maybe January, sorry, which seems strange because, you know, January, you would think that's when they're going to be wanting him. That's when he would be available to move. The transfer window's open again. Maybe it's till January, actually. Maybe I misread it. But I don't know. I think what's been reported anyway, I believe what's been reported is that they're working on it for the summer. Working on it for the summer here. So, you know, I don't know. Either way, we're not working on it. They're working on it and we're not working on it. And it's very, very frustrating that we're not working on it because we need something like that. So hopefully we go out there and sign somebody in January. Guys, we're 4 likes off of 100 likes. Smash that like button. If you're just getting in here and haven't hit the like button, it's free. Might as well twat that like button like your name was Roy Keane and the like button's Gareth Southgate. Smash that like button, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new too. If it's your first time on this channel, we cover all the latest United news in a no bullshit, no clickbait way. So get yourself involved by hitting the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and get yourself in here raw every evening for the latest news and all the watch-alongs and everything that we cover on this channel for Man United. So get yourself involved. We smashed 100 likes. Baby, we did it. Break out the red panties. Oh, Rush Barno, thank you so much there for a £5 super chat, you legend. He says, I'm pretty sure Pepe was a bargain in which you made a big profit on, Zane. Hey, that's a great point as well, isn't it? Pepe, what did they pay? 75 mil for him, wasn't it? Oh, my goodness me. They'd have been better off spending the money on Pepe Le Pew, you know, because he stunk the place up. He stunk the place up just as much, though, didn't he, with his performances? Absolutely guff, Rush Barno. Anyway, yes, so look, they're not devoid of spending ridiculous amounts of money. You're absolutely right, Rush Barno. We have spent some poor money or some big money on some poor investments, but so have Arsenal holders. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Rushmano. Let's get a Sue in there for Rushmano. Absolute legend. Paula Chin comments, Haaland was destined for City because his dad played for them. That's why he chose City. I get you, Paula Chin. But think about this for a second. City, a few years back, I guess, still were a very good team, you know. But maybe pre-Pep Hill, or early doors, we had the opportunity to sign him. I'm talking 4 seasons ago. People have known about Haaland for a long time. I mean, City obviously still winning things 4 years ago. Don't get me wrong. Pep's been there probably before, a long time now too. So, but still, we would have had more likeliness to sign him back then, I suppose, when we had things like Champions League football. Maybe even that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer link. Let's face it, Ole actually had Erling Haaland at Molde, right? He played with him, he managed him, I believe. So, you've got that going on. You've got that link, the Norwegian vibes, Manchester vibes. Okay, it is the other side of Manchester. But if we'd have tried and spent the money, we had the opportunity. So, we had the opportunity. So, there you go. But as it is, we missed out. I don't care anyway. I don't care. We just need to get our own great player. That's the point. We don't want a second-generation City motor. They've got him now. I don't care anyway, but it's frustrating that all I'm saying is, it's just the point I'm making is we're frustrated and missing out on players. And Nkunku potentially going to Chelsea. All these players we missed out on over the last few years that would have made us better. Going to get Harry Maguire instead of going to get Ruben Dias when we had the opportunity for a lot less money. Stuff like that. It's just very frustrating what we could have done with that money. We spent the money. It's not like we haven't spent the money, but we haven't spent it well. And we've allowed really, really good players to go to other places when we had the opportunities to sign them. I get it now. For instance, tomorrow, if there's a bid tabled for Jude Bellingham from Real Madrid, and Chelsea coming knocking, and City coming knocking, and Liverpool coming knocking, and Barca coming knocking, and all these big teams coming knocking for Jude because he's available and he's going to go in Jan, then I'd understand it if Man United got beaten out, because we're actually struggling at the moment, and it's not the most attractive proposition to go to right now. We've got shithouse owners. That's the big problem. It's a rotten club because of the owners. So it's not the most attractive place to go. So I'd be okay with missing out on that sort of situation. But a lot of these players we've mentioned here, whether it be the likes of Julian Alvarez or the likes of Moises Caicedo, who we could have had for 5 million, or the likes, he went to Brighton for fuck's sake. We did a video on it before he went to Brighton talking about the prospects of him being signed by Manchester United and how maybe that could happen. We didn't go and get him though, even though he's 5 million. What a bunch of twats we are. And then there's also people like, as I mentioned, Julian Alvarez, Ruben Dias, lots of different players we could have gone and got. So that's what I'm saying is we've just spent badly and we've allowed them to go to other places and be good. Gakpo's another one, Zeno Rose. Bring Gakpo in Jan. What a great comment you just made there, Zeno Rose. Gakpo's the one, isn't he? So yes, I'd love to see, Nkunku would be a great signing. He really would. I would like to see him in here. But how's about Gakpo? He looks absolutely unbelievable, to be fair, in terms of his start that he's had again in the Eredivisie. And we need some goals from somewhere, and he seems like a good goal scorer. He's got those Dutch vibes. He's not even that much money. We should have got him in the summer. So, yes, I'm with you on that one. I would take a little bit of Cody Gakpo action all day. Mitrovic, a big great signing, says Zane Farley. Hey, hell yeah, mate, for some extra goals. Hey, Mark Harris, thank you for the $2 super chat there, you Don. Let's go. Thank you so much. He says, where's Iqbal, Garnacho, McNeil, Ten Hag not playing kids? Yeah, well, he's not at the moment, absolutely not. But would you play like those youngsters in a big game like that? I don't know. Maybe we'll see that Europa League Thursday night. Hopefully, a couple of the youngsters coming in. So that's another thing that we'll talk about real quick now. Thank you, Mark Harris. Let's get some Susan there. You've reminded me of one of the topics I want to discuss recently. So Ten Hag's understood to have been very angry after the game. You know, he's questioned the mentality. So he said he thought they had a better team mentality than what they displayed and all that sort of stuff. And where was it and all this kind of thing. And he's basically understood that he's had a meeting. Due to hold a meeting at Carrington on Monday and wants the Man United squad and his coaching staff to feel free to criticise each other during the analysis of their 6-3 defeat to Manchester City. So he's going in there raw, making some changes. Maybe Mark, he will go in there on Thursday night and obviously make some drastic changes. Maybe he'll drop some players. Maybe he will give some opportunities to youngsters. Not too sure, but you're right. He hasn't been doing that yet. Has he? So... yeah, that's one of the aspects of what we wanted him to do, was to develop some of the youngsters in the team, and he's got a great track record of doing that at Ajax. He hasn't necessarily done that yet. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Is he going to do that? Don't know. Hope so. That's part of our ideas, part of our heritage as a as a club, is to produce our own talent. So that's what we should always be doing. Hey, 0 degrees. I mean, Mitrovic would be a great sign, and I'm not going to lie. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you take Mitro in January. I definitely would, guys, for the right price. He's a goal scorer. He seems like he's just got better and better over the last couple of seasons, and he's doing well in the Prem for a Gash team. Imagine what he could do in a good team that gets him the service that he needs. He'd probably score a lot of goals. So I think, yeah, you could do a lot worse than Mitro. 2 says Dan McGill, 1 says Zane, 1 says Tom, 1 says Dan, 1 says Elliot Manduna and Wiggy, your legend, get in there, my son. 1 says Mark Coughlin, 2 says Kingslayer, 1 says Madhouse and Pedro, Elliot Manduna says 1, Philip Chapman says 1. Thank you very much, Chloe Jenkins, for the £5 super chat. Let's get a Sue in there for Chloe as well. Thank you so much. She comments and she says, Joel is not going to allow Erik ten Hag to buy a striker if it stands in the way of his love child, Martial. Jose made that mistake. Maybe so, that's it. It's like the Godfather, isn't it? They're just dangling these strings up above. I mean, I do wonder why players like McTominay get selected. Why players like, I don't know, why Maguire actually got selected by so many different managers over the last couple of seasons. Don't really get it. So it's a good comment there, Chloe Jenkins. I don't know. I mean, maybe we will be able to buy a striker in January if we get rid of 1 or 2 of the players that we've got. So, for instance, if Ronaldo does get an offer from a UCL club and Man United are happy with that offer, then yes, we would have to go out there and buy a striker, I think, because you cannot rely on Rashford and Martial to do the job for the season. So I would go with the likes of, somebody like sign a Gakpo or somebody like that. Might not be an out-and-out striker, but he can play there. He's also can play wide. He's also got an eye for goal. Add some more forwards to your team. If you're going to have to then utilise the likes of Rashi and Martial through the middle, you need some more reinforcements in the wings. So somebody like that would make a bit of a sense. I still like Christopher Nkunku, but it looks like he's going to Chelsea. So yes, thank you so much, Chloe Jenkins, for your super chat there. I really hope that Ten Hag is allowed to buy a striker in January, and other players too. There could be a couple of players going out still. So think about other players that might not be too happy at the moment. Wan-Bissaka is another player that might not be too happy because, let's face it, he's not playing. Dallow's in front of him. Dallow's Ten Hag's choice. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka's a backup. Wan-Bissaka might be coming in Thursday night, for instance, to play in Europa League, but he's not playing regularly. And for him and his development as a player, I mean, he's not even in a conversation, is he, for internationals and things like that? So, but in regards to that, I just kind of think, yeah, he might be looking to move on in January. Other players too. Who knows what goes on with Maguire? Maguire right now is on the bench. It seems like Martinez and Varane is Ten Hag's first choice. Will Maguire be happy with that? I think we do need centre-backs, obviously, to be around because Varane, look at him again. He's got injured again. He is injury-prone. Hopefully it's not a serious injury, but you need centre-backs. But we've got Twanzebe, we've got Lindelof, we've got Maguire backing them up. But Maguire, will he be happy with being a backup if the other lads are fit? He wants to play. He was the captain. So I don't know if he'll be happy with that. It depends. He might just be happy to take his big fat paycheck and the fact that nobody else is going to pay him that money elsewhere and run out his contract just like Phil Jones 2.0. Or he might get hungry and want to go play somewhere else. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. I hope that Maguire at some point gets disenchanted and just decides he wants to be transfer listed and to go and knock on Ten Hag's door and say so. So anyway, it ain't about Maguire, but I am concerned that when Varane's injured, what we've got coming in afterwards. That's my concern. Take Aki, says Rashat Valacia. Well, okay, yeah. I mean, if would they want to sell him to us? That's the thing. Would they want to sell him to us? Okay, so Ten Hag's understood to have had a bit of a meeting. He's not happy, and also it's understood that he's not prepared to gift out any new contracts to players until they basically earn themselves. Earned it, because let's face it, we've been doing that really, really stupidly over the last few seasons, if you ask me, handing out big improved contracts to players that don't deserve it. I mean, the fact that Phil Jones got such a big extension a couple of years back was just absolutely ridiculous. And people like Maguire being on such big money, even Bruno Fernandes, as much as I think Bruno's a great player and does deserve it. What's happened to him, by the way? He's still not the player he was he? But he's a good player, obviously. But come on now, I want to see a bit more from Bruno. But either way, even he got given a contract before the new manager came in. Behind the scenes type thing. No new manager in yet. And we've gifted him a new contract, a big contract. Was that 100% earned? It was partially earned, but I don't think it was 100% earned. He wasn't even here yet, and Ten Hag wasn't even here yet to fully assess and fully decide, hey, how do I want to spend my budget? How do I want to spend it in my squad? So I think there's always been bad decisions made in regards to signing players up to contract extensions and things. And I'm glad that Ten Hag has told United hierarchy that there's no new contracts to be awarded until his player appraisal is complete. He does need time to assess these players. Between now and January, that really is going to be Ten Hag's appraisal. And players will be on the chopping block in January, I think, to be sold. Who? We don't know. Will Wan-Bissaka fade away? Will he be sold? Will the likes of McTominay now just fall into obscurity? Who knows? Will Cristiano Ronaldo get jaded and not play and not be able to force his way into Ten Hag's side and want to move to a team in January? And will there be an offer available for him? So there's so many different ifs, ands, or buts, but it's an assessment period this next couple of months. Ten Hag's got rid of quite a lot of the shit in the summer. We did see a lot of outgoings in the summer. There's still a few lingerers and hangers on, and it's going to take time to get them all out. So I wouldn't panic too much about the game yesterday, guys. I think we were always expected to lose that game, even though I was feeling a bit optimistic going into it. Let's face it, City are a well-oiled machine. Man United are not right now. We're basically, if we're a machine, the type of machine we are is like a rusty old lawnmower that's like been stuck out in the rain for 10 years, and you basically got to like really do some serious servicing of those parts before you can get that thing working again. And really, you've got to make so many orders and replace so many different parts over the next couple of months that it's just going to be a totally different machine in the future. So really, we need completely rebuilding. So that's what Ten Hag's tasked with. It's a tough task. He needs time. He needs the development time, and he also needs investment. He needs to be able to bring in a striker in January, especially if Ronaldo's going, and also some other players. We're lacking in certain areas. I'd still be keen on selling a couple of our centre-backs and bringing in one new centre-back, one new good centre-back. I'd still be keen on that. Let's face it, Jurian Timber's a player that you might be interested in bringing in the future. Somebody like that could come in, a youngster, a young player that's such a prospect to play a deputy role, to play a backup role or cover for Varane. We don't need Maguire, captain. We don't need Maguire covering for Varane. He can go piss off somewhere and play for Kettering Town or something, and we can get, that's the sort of vibe I'm thinking of. Let's have a restructure here. We need to get some of the guff out, get some of the new in. Okay, so yes, so it's all looking very, very, it's all looking very mixed at the moment. It would have been nice if we got some sort of result in that game. It's not panic stations, guys. We're still in where are we in the league? I think we're in 6th place. We're in 6th place. We're 2 points off of 4th place at the moment. If Ten Hag got into 4th place this season and the season ended, we'd rip your arm off, I think. We want Champions League football next season. Yes, we want to challenge for things. Yes, it'd be nice to have a title challenge. But come on. This is a rebuilding season. We've got to be realistic with our expectations. So we're not out the top 4 race. This is no panic. We were probably expected to lose that City game. The manner in which we lost was bad. Ten Hag set them up gash and defensive and negative, and he's made a mistake. But let's move on. Let's move on, dust ourselves off, and hope that now this new Manchester United side, hopefully he learns some things. There's that old expression, isn't there? You learn a lot more out of your defeats than you do your victories. And that's true. You do. You learn a lot more in your defeats than you do your victories. And we've got Everton coming up next game on Sunday in the Premier League. Obviously, we've got Ammonia in the Europa Thursday. But Sunday in the Premier League, we've got to smash them up away from home at Goodison. We've got to smash them up, guys, and get back on track. And we're going to see what Ten Hag's capable of doing for that game. He's going to have to get a good, convincing victory. Otherwise, the top 4 race, it will be in doubt after that. You've got to beat teams like Everton. Teams like City right now, you can understand losing to. Teams like Everton, with the players and the quality we've got to beat those shithouses. So that's where I'm at with it, really, guys. I'm just going to get into the rest of the news, folks. I've got a couple of little tidbits for you lads and lasses out there, and then we're going to get into the Q&A. But thanks, everyone, for being here and listening to me waffle on for the best part of an hour here. Smash that like button once again. Hit the subscribe. Get yourself in the Q&A in a minute. But just very quickly, so Ten Hag holding a meeting. Apparently, Rafael Varane drove himself to training today, and it's not expected he's going to have a bad ankle injury, so that's good. Hopefully, he will be back in very, very soon because we need him, and I don't want to see Maguire in there. By the way, guys, I saw a horrendous stat earlier about Erling Haaland. So it was the fastest to 3 Premier League hat-tricks in the Premier League history. And it was a pretty startling graphic. And he has taken 8 games to get to 3 different Premier League hat-tricks. It took the next player, I believe it was 58 games. Can't remember who it was now. Owen or Ruud van Nistelrooy or somebody. That's pretty freaky, isn't it? That's pretty scary, isn't it? That's pretty scary, isn't it? Fucking hell. Like, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Michael Owen, Cristiano Ronaldo took those guys like 50, 60 games to get hat-tricks, like that many hat-tricks. But Haaland has taken him 8. It's pretty nutty. Hey, 0 Degrees, thanks for your super chat, my friend. Let's go. Let's get a Sue in the live chat for him. Thank you so much, 0 Degrees, you don. He comments and he says, first 11 should be new players and youth. Using last season's players with new signings is like mixing rotten fruit with fresh ones. Everything rots. Man, you are a man of pure imagination, bro. I love that use of words there and that vision you created there, sir. You know what I mean? That's right. You're absolutely right. You don't put fresh fruit in there with some rotten shite. It's gonna transfer over and it's gonna mash up. It's gonna mold up the new fruit. Good shout. I like your style, 0 Degrees. Look, I still don't understand why he didn't select Casemiro. I really think he should have done. Maybe he's justified it, but he doesn't want to change a winning team. But he should change a winning team if it's the right thing for the next game. So I agree, 0 Degrees. A bit strange. I would have liked to have seen Cassie in there and some of the new signings maybe play a bit more. So good shout there. Thank you, 0 Degrees, for your super chat there. Absolute lad. Let's get a Suey in there. Thank you, Steve. Love that. Thank you very much. Absolutely right. Susan loves it too. Susan Lively Sue, thanks for being here. I hope the generator's holding out okay and the power comes on very, very soon. Still Susan without power over there in Canada. Let's get some love hearts in the live chat for her. Big Dog Bratchy says, if you took Ronaldo and put him on City, he would score goal after goal too. Spot on. I agree with you. Yeah, I do agree with you. The service would be there. You're absolutely right. There's actually nothing wrong with Ronaldo's movement at 37. If you play him on the last man, he's all over the gaff, doing all sorts of amazing things still. And as in his movement, curving and timing his run and peeling away from those defenders and just timing his runs for those balls is still fantastic. He can definitely still get one-on-one. If you're a team that dominates and gets him service, he will score goals. So I'm with you, bud. Right, okay, just a couple of little quick things. So David De Gea, Gary Neville thinks that David De Gea won't last long under Ten Hag because of his lack of ability with the ball at his feet. And I mean, he can't really blame De Gea for the goals yesterday at all, but he didn't have a good game, did he? But also maybe that's the thing. I mean, Gary Neville thinks that Ten Hag maybe is not right. On this podcast, he said, I think we're seeing less success with that type of football. Other than Leicester, can you think of a team that's not dominated possession most of the time that have won this league in the last 15 to 20 years? So, yeah, and in regards to how De Gea plays with his feet, he's not obviously the best, is he? But I still think he's a great goalkeeper. So, but that was one little thing I had noted down. Also, just a couple of little brief transfer bits of news we've got here, folks. Nothing that crazy at this stage, but of course, the De Jong link's not going away. Not going to talk about that, but that's still there. Apparently, Ten Hag's still interested and still a fan. Also, we're interested in Kim Min-jae, Napoli centre-back, apparently, who's had impressive displays this season. So that could be somebody we maybe look at in the future as a potential Slabo Maguire replacement. Premier League clubs are also looking to relax rules for foreign signings and feel for the first time that the FA opposition is softening. Report from The Athletic suggests that post-Brexit regulations could be eased, so we might see more foreign players being able to easier to play in the Premier League, etc. Eric Ten Hag has told United Hierarchy that he doesn't want contracts to be awarded until he's assessed them. Oh, yeah, we covered that. Also, in the days that United were finalising his transfer, apparently an advisor told Manchester United noted that Casemiro's running stats were worse than Scotty McTominay. That's via Samuel Luckhurst, so maybe that's why he didn't play him. And he's not a runner, is he? But if he could just sit and protect the back line, I mean, why have we spent 70 mil if he's not going to be Ten Hag's type of player? So I don't buy it. We need to play the guy. But Eric Ten Hag's still in the assessment phase, of course, and we're still waiting for more updates on Rafael Varane. But it's expected that his ankle injury is not going to be that bad at all. Yeah. Interesting. So there's some interesting things coming out about City and a betting partner that they've got as well. So I don't know too much about that at the moment, but apparently, apparently 8xBet, who's were on LED boards surrounding the pitch, who's City's new Asian betting partner. Apparently it's based in the United Arab Emirates, and do they even exist? Like, apparently there's been a research done into this company, and there's like some weird stuff going on there with them. So I don't know too much about that, but Rushy's just sent me from film through there. Sounds pretty interesting. Wouldn't surprise me because City are a bunch of dirty bastards. Right then, so let's get into the live chat for a couple of minutes, guys. Thanks for being here. Smash the like, get yourself subscribed if you want to chat and have your say. Let's be having you. Let's discuss anything you want in this chat. Quickly before I do, let's have a look at the poll. So the poll, I asked you guys, should Ronaldo be starting? And 67% of the live chat say yes. 33% say no. So it does seem like a lot of people will back Ronaldo, and I want to see him played, and I want to see him do well. Now, if he plays and he doesn't do well, then you've got to give chances to other players that are going to do well. Marcio came on the last game and did well. I'm all about rewarding form, so he probably deserves to play, next game. First Class Gamer, what's going on? He says, what stage of grief are you in? I'm in the sit around in your underpants stage, mate, at the moment, mate. It's been a good weekend. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. Hope you're good, though, First Class Gamer, my friend. Hey, Miss Killer Timsy, what's going on? Says Gary does talk shite sometimes. Jonathan Gallagher, thank you for the super chat. I nearly missed that, bro. Thank you very much, dude. He says, no leadership in the squad. When it gets tough, they get going. Fair enough. Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, that's right. There was a lack of bollocks in that game yesterday, mate. Absolute shit stains. Hey, the Bootinator, thank you. He says, smash the like for the pig. Thank you so much. Right, let me scroll down to the bottom of the chat and catch up. Thank you, Jonathan Gallagher, for that super chat, mate. Stefan Herringtonio, what's going on, you legend? He says, a bit like United's defence. Do they even exist? Oh. Okay, calm down. We were good before that game, defensively anyway. We were. I've still got a lot of faith in the likes of Malacia, Varane, Martinez, and Dano this season in that quartet. So let's calm down. They did have a bad game. But I think it's the problem stem again from the midfield. I think Ten Hag got it wrong putting McTominay in there. Eriksen had a bad game, and therefore we had no protection. Therefore, we were just getting overrun in midfield, and the defence were completely exposed a lot of the time. It was basically pure Ollie ball out there. Okay, nice one. You're going to put it straight behind you. Exactly, Slim Reaper. Yeah, on to the next game. You're over it. Looking forward to the next game. Susan, we're miles off, says Jonathan Gallagher. I mean, we are, but we're going to get hopefully back there under Ten Hag. We have to try and believe and have faith. Otherwise, what are we doing here? We've got to hope that he learns from the mistakes, that he does make the changes, and that we do start to maybe change the mentality a little bit. I think we just approached that game in a far too negative defensive way, and that sort of set the precedent, really. We let them play their football, and when you do that, they're too good. And we should have roughed them up, got right in their faces from the off. Play higher up, play an aggressive style, not let them actually pass around, press the shite out of them. You might be knackered after 45, 55 minutes, but you might be 2-0 up by then. That's the sort of vibe that I'm looking at here. Anyway, we need a Roy Keane type player. You're so right, Master Yoda. I couldn't agree more. A bit of a leader, somebody with a bit of guile, somebody who's also a quality player as well. Quality player. Cut out the spam, says Duncan Belifo. Oh, John Hand. Oh, nice when you got your flu jab. Good luck with that, my friend. He says, my Dr. Joe Pig and Mrs. Pig. Thank you, John Hand. Appreciate you, mate. Good luck with that one, dude. We invited them. Our gash party, says Rasha Felicia. Vootinator says Disco Dana, right onwards and upwards. Absolutely. Oh, Disco Dave. Yes, indeed, Disco Dave, you legend. He says, time to forget and move on. We're still above the pool. Spot on, lad. You're absolutely right. We are. And we're only 2 points off top 4 right now. Mark says, let's hope City Zane's Arsenal will smash Liverpool on Sunday. Definitely. Hey, what's going on there? DXCX. He says, Dano, McTominay, Rashford, Shaw, Martial, Fred, Maguire, Lindelof all need to go. If we got class-hungry players, we'd be a decent side. I agree with some of them, but I mean, I think Dallow's been good this season. He's still young. Rashford's looked good this season. He just won the Player of the Month. I wouldn't chuck him away. Martial's done well under Ten Hag. I'd give him a chance. So I agree with some of them, but I don't agree with all of them. But thank you for getting in here with your comments, though. I mean, maybe if you're talking about who's world-class and not who's and who's not. You're right. None of them really are world class. Jonathan Gallagher, thanks for another £2 super chat, mate. He says there was one inside in the Arsenal win, pig. You're right. Yes, okay. You're right, Jonathan Gallagher. I mean, you are right. In another reality, that game could have finished 3-3. But it didn't, mate. So we can't think about that. But the reality is there's going to be warning signs in every single game we play because we're definitely not a finished article. If you think, coaches come in and just instantly get a team overnight playing perfect, then you're in cloud cuckoo land. I mean, sometimes it works. Sometimes it does happen. Sometimes it works. But most of the time it takes time. Most of the time it takes a bit of time to build things up, to get that understanding, to get the right players in, the right players out. And sometimes it takes a bit of time. Who do I think is going to win the World Cup? I think Brazil, John Hand. I'll go with a bit of Brazil action. Hi, Piggy. Hey, how you doing there, Patricia O'Driscoll? How's it going? Are we always? Thank you so much. Hope you're good. Playing on Sunday? Yes, indeed. So we've got Everton Sunday. Also Thursday night, we're on against Ammonia. Against Ammonia in the Europa League as well. Hey, nice one, Josh Hernandez. He says, thank you to the one who gifted me membership. Do you know what? I think it was probably Don Gungshi, mate, who gifted you the membership. The guy's an absolute bloody legend. Out there gifting memberships and doing all sorts of bits, lad. Thank you to Don Gungshi, honestly, for being just a generous legend. It was probably Don Gungshi. So thank you once again to Don Gungshi. He's an absolute bloody legend of the channel. Appreciate you, my friend. Not Qatar, says Rajat. No hope in the host. They're not going to win it, I don't think. Disco Dave, sorry, mate, says Butinator. A draw and barter, says Slim Reaper. Rushmano, thank you, says subscribe to the channel. Hey, what's happening there, Code Extreme TV? Hope you're doing good as well, bud. Cheers, Gungshi, a legend. I honestly really do appreciate that. He gifted out 10 members earlier. And he's just been gifting out God knows how many members over the last couple of weeks. The guy is basically what I like to consider him. He's like the recruiter for the Baker Brigade, it turns out. Oh, man. He's like the guys who goes out in the field are like, have you considered joining the U.S. Army, son? Slim Reaper. I was heartbroken when I saw Sir Alex's sad face. I was like, come on, man United, don't let Sir Alex die before knowing you're going to succeed again. Oh, yeah, I'm just gutted to see his face, the thought of him being so successful at United and what he built at United, and to just see it crumbling before his eyes. I'm not playing career tonight. That's going to be tomorrow, Silver, but I'm doing Ultimate Team tonight. Road to Glory, Man United vibes. We didn't learn from the Arsenal game, says Jonathan Gallagher. We have learned a little bit. We've learned some stuff along the way. But I just don't think we approached that game against City in the way that we should have done. It's easy to say with hindsight, but we didn't, did we? Obviously. Ferran's leg is only sore. Yeah, that's right, Paulichin. Hopefully nothing too bad about going on with his ankle injury there. Hopefully it's just a knock. Vincent says, I'm not going to watch long in protest till we win. Fair play to you, Vincent, lad. That's I like it. I like your style. Gungshi should be Man United's head scout, says Dante Foxall. Thank you, John Hand. Says, let's see how many likes we can give Joe Pig tonight, or you in the chat. Thank you, John Hand. Thanatos, AFC, get in there. Yes, indeed. He says, thanks to Gungshi. Sub to Flying Pig United says, yes. You don't care Mike Finnan be in that dressing room. He knows what it's about. Well, he does. He was, Man United through and through, to be fair. Oh, lovely, Rashad Felicia. All right, guys, I've just seen the time, actually. It's 11 o'clock, so I better wrap this video up. We're going to be back on in about 20 minutes or so for a FIFA stream, which I'm going to put in the live chat here. I want to say thank you to every single one of you legends for tuning into the channel tonight for the news update. Obviously, not too much going on today, but just reaction and fallout to the Gash game yesterday. We've got to put that behind us, guys, and move on. We can't dwell on it, and Ten Hag can't dwell on it, but he's got to learn from it, obviously, and hopefully make the necessary changes. So we've got Everton Sunday. We've got Ammonia in the Cup on the Europa League, I should say, on Thursday. So we'll see what we can do to improve things then. So hopefully it's going to be much better. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you. Hey, Chris Koo, how you doing, my friend? Duncan Belifo. Thank you, Duncan Belifo. Phelan was in the dressing room. Only have you forgot, says Sim. Yeah, he was, but I mean, he's Mr. Man United. He was also involved when Fergie was here too. He's had some successes at Manchester United, no doubt. But in all fairness, for me, Phelan, it's an era that we have to move on from. You can't look to going backwards like that, I don't think. I think you've got to look on. As much as like Sir Alex Ferguson, I'd love to see Sir Alex back. But it's that ship has sailed. It's a different time, and he's somebody with a different modern approach, mate, who's going to change things. Elliot Mantuna, thank you, Elliot. Thank you, William, really. Thank you, Michael Vine, Rushmano, Chris Koo, Kilner. We're back very shortly for FIFA, though, Chris Koo, lad. Patricia O'Driscoll, thank you, Elliot. Thank you, Pete Morris, you legend. Miss Killer Timsey as well. Madhouse, Stefan Harringtonio, legend, mate. Thank you, bro. Kilner, Gungshi, thank you, Gungshi. Thank you so much, my friend. Vincent Bullock, John Hand, Disco Dave, Joey Evans. Once again, Gungshi, thank you. Let's get some love hearts in there for Gungshi for his incredible generosity. Gifted out 10 new members of the channel. Let's go. Thank you, bro. Right, see you in half an hour or just even a little bit less for FIFA, guys. Back on in a little bit. Thanks for watching. That's the end of the show. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch at Flying Pig United. Follow my second channel, Flying Pig Gaming, for daily FIFA streams. Also, check out the website, unitedflyandhigh.com, for your latest news and updates. Shout out to Rushmano for giving me a lot of updates before the stream and just helping me with updates throughout the show. What a legend. And shout out to all you legends of the channel, the Bacon Brigade viewers and the Bacon Brigade members, all the legends in green with the badges and all the moderators in blue like Vutinator, etc. All you legends, thank you so much for supporting the show, being here and watching the channel, guys. Have a great night. Catch you in a bit. Catch you tomorrow for the latest Man United news. And of course, whenever there's any breaking news on the channel, we got you covered. Click the bell icon for notifications. See you in a bit, folks. Back in half hour for FIFA. Catch you then. And come on, United, sort your bloody lives out. And remember, when see seagulls, follow see troller. As this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. See